G'day guys, in this video I'm going to show you a 2-week itinerary in southern Laos, starting with what I'm doing now, which is the Thakhek Loop. On top of that, we'll check out the Pakse Loop of the Bolaven Plateau, and we'll check out Si Phan Don, 4,000 islands, down near the southern border with Cambodia. That pretty much covers the 2-week itinerary. There'll be chapter marks down below if you want to skip ahead. I'm going to do a little overview of Laos and the locations that we're going, and then we'll jump into the activities as well as the transport in between the activities. Throughout the video I'm going to cover all the costs of activities and transport, not including flights in and out and not including food. So yeah, let's jump back to the start and I'll show you how my day started today before I ended up here.
You're back online. You should reach your destination by 2057.
Considering it was the start of 2026, it would have been nice to get to the hotel before 2057, but I didn't want to rush the taxi driver. I'd just flown into Vientiane, which is the capital, but I needed to make my way hundreds of kilometres to Thakhek. Instead of catching the overnight bus, I decided to fly to Savannakhet and catch a bus from there the following day. The 3 ways to visit Thakhek is a bus from the north, a bus from the south, or crossing the land border with Thailand. Throughout the course of the video, I'll list prices of transport and activities in the top corner, as well as a total running cost. I'll do this in Australian dollars or dollary dues, because the Laotian kip can be quite volatile. With inflation, the price can change quite a lot. I got the earliest flight to Savannakhet from Vientiane. Ignore the timetables here, it is all a load of crap. There is one bus that goes to Thakhek. It's a local bus, not a VIP bus. It is very full. It was supposed to leave at 10 and left at 10:37. It's supposed to take 2 hours, it took closer to 3.5. After arriving in Thakhek, I got a little scooter, 125cc, luggage rack and a rear wheel. Then I was all set to start the Thakhek Loop the following day. Day 1 of the Thakhek Loop is possibly the busiest of all the days. I left early because I knew I had a lot to do. Unfortunately, this doesn't leave you many options for breakfast. After a brownie and a coffee at Cafe Amazon, I was back on the road towards an area they call Cave Alley. Almost immediately out of town, you can see the cast limestone formations in the distance. So this was my first stop. This is Elephant Cave. Not the highest rated on Google reviews, but I was going to just drop in and check it out. It's only about 15 minutes out of Thakhek. Apparently it doesn't open till 8. It's only about 7:15 now. So we'll move on to the next one, which also opens at 8. But hopefully by the time I get there, they'll let me in. And I think the next one's a bit more impressive anyway. The road conditions on the Thakhek Loop are not the best. There's also a lot of trucks to try and avoid. Alright guys, so Elephant Cave was a no-go. Just on my way to the next one. Approaching 8 o'clock, so hopefully we can go straight into this one. There's no one else there. The scenery around here is magnificent. As soon as you leave Thakhek, which is on a plain, it's just these karst landscape formations, which is pretty cool. After about 15 minutes riding on this slight detour off the main loop, you'll arrive at the area for Tham Swam. 150,000 entry. There are actually 2 caves in this area, but I decided I need to check out the more impressive one. So I'm not going to pronounce this right, but this is Dang Pha Swam. Just recently it's opened again, so the past couple of years they've been building this boardwalk. It's nice, I would have liked to have seen it. I think originally you just kind of had to wade through here, which I probably would have preferred, but this is nice as well. At least I'm not getting saturated first thing in the morning. Entrance was 150,000. I guess it's going to the development or the investment that's been put into this place. I think I might be getting bigger, or the cave is getting smaller. There is another cave in this little area. I will be skipping the Buddha cave in favour of seeing more quality than quantity. Riding back out onto the main road, turning left to continue the loop. The next cave is Siang Leap. After entering, which is dirt cheap, you'll cross this little bridge before you get to the cave entrance itself. So this is cave number 2, Siang Leap cave. 10,000 kip parking, 10,000 kip entry. It used to be free, but I'm not complaining about that. That's like $1.20 to get in. I have a feeling that we're going to have to cross water at some point. That will be interesting. This is Siang Leap Cave. Shit's all over the other one so far. I've had to actually do a little bit of climbing up and across the river. This one has 2 entrances. I think this one will be pretty hard to beat just because of the untouched nature of it. And they don't force you to take a guide or anything like that. This is awesome. I think this is the end of the track unless you start wading out into the water, which I'm not going to do today. Yeah, Siang Leap Cave, I think should be on everyone's to-do list given what I've seen today. The next place to drop in around the loop is called Tha Phalang. It's not a cave, it is a tourist location. It's more based around the river and the huts along the river, as well as the rental of kayaks. So this is Tha Phalang, resort-ish. It's free entry. There's a restaurant, some nice bungalows, you can rent kayaks. I'm pretty sure you can go for a swim if you want. So that's Tha Phalang. I had lunch there. Now we're moving on. We've still got about 2 hours drive to get to where I want to get to tonight, which is Nam Thuen for accommodation. But for now, it's Phaya Inn, which is quite a small one. Getting to Phaya Inn from Tha Phalang is quite easy. It's only about 5 minutes away, a handful of kilometres. However, the turn-off is not very well marked, so keep your eyes peeled. You seen the cave? So this is the entrance to Phaya Inn Cave. I think it's 10,000 kip entry. Bit of a small one, so we'll just rush through this one actually. I just want to get to Dam Nang Any Cave, and then we've got a fair bit of driving to do after that. That's the blind man. He asks for 10k, sometimes he gives you bracelets. Okay, so this is Phaya Inn Cave. This is the smallest one we've seen today. You're almost at the water level and you get this awesome viewpoint where the sun's shining in from somewhere else in the limestone. And it's almost like this mirror image, this perfect symmetry. The last cave on my list today was Dam Nang Any. Dam Nang Any Cave is probably one of the more popular ones. It is definitely one of the more crowded ones. There are restaurant options here, so it's a good place to have lunch if you haven't already. Just a good reminder that meditation can calm your mind, can calm your mind. Okay, so this is the end of the road of Tham Nang Any Cave. The rest of it, as you can see, you need a boat for. I should have bought the boat ticket out the front. I'm not gonna walk back and buy it now. Still gotta get to Nam Thuen, got a lot of riding to do. Well, this cave valley is right near Thakhek, so we haven't actually gone that far yet. After leaving Cave Valley, there really isn't too much to do. You need to try and make some good kilometres here. However, Pha Katai Viewpoint is right along the loop. Alright guys, this one is actually closed, so there is a gate out the front, it's locked. You're not allowed here. If you get hurt, it's your own fault, because they've done all they can to block it. This is Pha Katai Viewpoint. But yeah, it's part of an abandoned building. I think it used to be a water park. Technically not allowed here, so there is no entrance fee because there is no tour operating. As expected, the build quality was lacking. There are lots of cracked welds, missing handrails, and it is quite a steep and sweaty climb. As you can see, it is pretty dodgy, so come in at your own risk and definitely take it easy. If you're smart and you watch where you're going, you should be fine. So I'm just going to have a quick look at the viewpoint now and head down. View up here is great. The way up here is not. It is free entry. This is Pha Katai Viewpoint. It doesn't require any detours, so if you're up for it, go for it. I don't think you'll regret it if you make it down. I mean, as far as I know, no one's died so far, but just be careful when you get to the top. Floorboards that I'm standing on now are not pinned down. There's a reason this place is closed. Given the time in the afternoon now, I really needed to put my head down and keep riding. There's not too much to see on the way into the Thalang National Park area. However, there is a visitor centre for the Nam Thuen Dam, and there is also Song Sa waterfall. However, the reviews for this in the dry season are not great. I decided to stay at Phou Thalang. For anyone staying at Phou Thalang or Sabadee Guest House, which are the two main options, don't follow Google Maps. Follow the signs. You definitely don't want to cross the river. So it's been a mad rush, just staying at Phou Thalang. Reason being it's a bit quieter than Sabadee Guest House. I'm probably just going to eat here because it is easier. Enjoy the views over the water. I kind of missed the sunset. That bell basically means it's dinner time. That applies to the cow and it applies to me too.
Turn the key and cooler on.
Morning number 2, or day 2 of the Thakhek Loop, just at Phou Thalang, and today we're going to head off to Kong Lor Cave, so it's a big day of driving. Day 1 is a very busy day. In the end, it all worked out pretty well because I got here just in time, just before the sun was going down, so I didn't have much free time. Today, I'm hoping for a little bit more. We've got more riding to do, but less activities.
I've got better things to do, okay, to leave a little bit undone.
With a long day of riding ahead of us today, I left reasonably early As you cross the bridge, you can see Fosi Thalang and Sabadi guest house over my right shoulder. This is why you shouldn't follow Google Maps directions to get there. You need to turn off before you cross the bridge. My first stop for today, we're heading towards the sandstone Buddha sculptures.
Set aside every empty spreadsheet line and loosen up on the...
Alright guys, so this is the first stop for today. This is the sandstone Buddha statues. Very small sort of site on the side of the road. I'm literally almost standing on the road. Not too much traffic at this time. Yeah, worth a quick stop. There's not really much to do. You take a few photos with it. So I'm gonna go fill up and then we'll head off to the next attractions.
The attractions on day 2 are very few and far between. However, there are the random viewpoints that are worth stopping at, just to have a break and stretch your legs, or take some photos.
I've got better things.
Alright guys, so we've had a bit of a drive, maybe 40 minutes. We've only really had the sandstone Buddha to stop at so far, but it's good. We've got a long drive today to get to Kong Lor, so I've spent the time driving through Laksao at the moment. If you're doing this off a paper map, this is a place you want to mark, because you come into the city or town and you chuck a left to head west towards Kong Lor.
Shortly after leaving Laksao, we head to Wat Pa Pha Nang Rong. None of these activities are must-see things, but there's not much else to do on the loop.
Just on the outskirts of Laksao, we have Wat Pa Pha Nang Rong. This is sort of under construction. It's just a Buddhist temple underneath the cast limestone backdrop. So it's pretty cool sort of scenery to come out and have a look around.
Back on the bike and about 15 minutes to the west, we have the main attraction of the day, which is Dragon Cave. There's no dragons, but there is a cave. There is a lookout called Eagle Lookout, and there is also a temple.
On my way down to the Dragon Cave now. This is the main attraction of today. So there's a temple this way and the cave. This is probably the big thing that you want to see if you're going to stop. So yeah, let's have a look around Dragon Cave and the lookout within the cave. 50k entry for this place. Definitely very reasonable. This is cool. This is lit up enough that you don't really need a head torch, but they haven't overdone it with all the bright colours. The water is perfectly still. Some pretty cool reflections.
Names and shapes all starts to change, but I see you clearly, like ain't gonna pay.
I assume the part that I'm walking in now in the wet season would be a river. But at the moment, late Jan, it's sandbeds. It's hard to compare all these caves because they all become a bit of a blur just for like the rawness of walking through them. Dragon Cave at the moment and Xiang Liep are the highlights.
Just at the top of these stairs is the way to Eagle Lookout.
Bit of a steep climb, pretty warm here. Hoping there's a breeze at the top. Stairs are a really good indicator that you're going the right way.
I open my front door, the air feels so strange. Names and shapes all starts to change, but I see you clearly, like ain't gonna page. You'll be my pick of the day.
We made it. You can tell this is a viewpoint because of the way it is. I think it's called the Eagles Viewpoint. Gotta go climb down now. Alright guys, so I've just done the little section past the staircase to the lookout. It's only another 50 metres or so and then it comes to this little cabin here, especially for only 50,000. Definitely worth stopping in here. Awesome experience, Dragon Cave. Just quickly on the way out, it's only like a 2 or 3 minute detour walk. Got this temple if you wanted to check it out. It's pretty small, a few Buddha statues and colourful ribbons. You know how it is, you know the score.
As you leave Dragon Cave, there really isn't too much to do between here and Kong Lor or Na Hin, depending on where you want to stay. There are some cool springs with pretty average reviews, so I decided to skip them. There is also this bridge crossing the river, which offers a nice landscape and the chance to look at the bomb boats.
This is another tourist checkpoint. It's the bomb boats. This isn't really something interesting to me, but since I skipped the cold springs, just thought I'd kill some time, get some photos of the bomb boats. But the view on the bridge is quite nice.
The bomb boats are not actually made out of bomb casings. They are made out of the large fuel tanks that bombers discarded over the country or this region during the Vietnam War. As we leave the bomb boat viewpoint, we get into some of the best riding of the entire loop.
Alright guys, we just turned from Na Hin, we're heading south now. This is the loop. It's not part of a loop in the sense, but this is what the whole thing was built around. We're going towards Kong Lor Cave. So got to make it pretty early, but at that awkward kind of time, it's not enough to view Kong Lor Cave today, and it's not really enough to view the one other thing I wanted to do in the area, which is Nam Nok Cave. So I am going to Nam Nok. There's a restaurant there, maybe have a quick look at it, but I'll go back tomorrow after visiting Kong Lor Cave. But some people choose to spend day 2 or night 2 in Na Hin, do this ride in the early morning to visit Kong Lor, and then back to Na Hin on the same day. I'm gonna go stay in Kong Lor. Gives me a bit of a sleep in. On day 2, there's not really that much to do. Dragon Cave's the only one I would say that's a must see. All the other activities I went to were not that great, to be fair. This is the road down into Kong Lor from Na Hin. Let's check it out. This is Nam Nok Cave Resort. Probably won't go in today, just wanted to check out how hard it is to access. And it's not hard at all. And see if they got coffee and food. So Spring River will be my first choice if I can get one of the houses on the river. That's the whole point of going to Spring River Resort, then I'll take it. Otherwise, I'm going to head in. There's only like another 2k to get to Kong Lor Central, I guess you'd call it. And there is a Kong Lor Cave guest house, which has also got great reviews. Alright guys, so the day kind of got away from me there. I've went to Spring River Resort. They didn't have any river lodges, and that's why I drove down to, I think this is Kong Lor River Resort, also on the river, as you can see behind me. These are new, so ensuite aircon, decent sized bed. Every bungalow is separate, so you don't have shared walls, which is awesome. Hopefully it keeps the noise down. The views are awesome, and yeah, with the river here, I'm gonna enjoy a bit of relaxing time now, just do some stretches, have a shower and whatnot. Yeah, a couple of Ks tomorrow, some of the better ones on the loop, so I'm looking forward to it.
Having spent the night in Kong Lor, it was only about 5 minutes to ride down to Kong Lor Cave at 8 AM for the opening time. Kong Lor Cave tour involves getting on a boat through an underground river that traverses a mountain range 7.5 kilometres before popping out the other side to Na Hin village. I decided to start the tour as early as possible, basically bang on opening time, to try and avoid the crowds.
Alright guys, so this is Kong Lor Cave. 350,000 for a single person. Pretty steep, but this is the main reason that this whole loop exists anyway. It's the main attraction, so let's see how good it is. Starting to heat up with this walk, but from what I read, it gets cold in there on the boat, so I'm wearing a jacket just for the boat ride. Kong Lor Caves goes through that limestone cast ridgeline that you saw all around town. There's another town on the other side. It's about 7.5 kilometres long. We've got a boat ride of, I think, about an hour and a half on the way there with a few stops, and then on the way back it's quicker because you don't stop. So this is Kong Lor Cave. The only thing from my personal experience that I can relate it to would be the Puerto Princesa underground river in the Philippines. Like you go further through, you actually come out the other side. Whereas the underground river, you kind of go in and turn around. It's awesome, not as scenic as the underground river, but the fact that you can come out the other side of the mountain, there's another town and village, and it's just like a connection point to a different world. That's pretty cool.
Do we ever learn before it's too late?
The fact that the driver's not coming with me makes me think that this is just a little stop. We go for a walk, take some photos, then we go back to the boat. This part of the cave's really opened up. Some awesome formations in this bit. So this little walkway, 100 metres, 2-minute walk up here and back to the boat. It's good at the moment being early. Get the whole place to yourself. Just going to try to snap some quick pics here and then head back to the boat.
Ocean breeze blowing in your hair.
Jumping back on the boat, it only took about 5 minutes before we were at our next land stop.
So the boat driver's just buggered off. I assume we walk across here and meet him on the other side. All the lights just went off. These lights are supposed to be on. Yeah, everything's kind of gone out. Just walking over this little crest. Just not sure if I'm missing out on anything. Oh, there's some bats. Power just came back on.
For just a little more.
I don't know why I was reading online to bring a jacket. It's effing pretty sticky, but maybe that gets cooler the deeper we go on the boat ride. The lights went out behind me. I think I'm getting timed out like a long speech at the Oscars where they just play the music. Try to get a move on.
Should I be leaning on each other all the way?
So we've just finished the second land stop. Had some pretty cool formations. No lights through here, so it's pretty cool. Just the head torches. I bought my own. They do offer you one at the entrance.
The one we waited for. If you take
Stopped briefly. There's an awesome photo opportunity here. The view as we come out this second entrance is really good.
my compare, 'cause this is our chance. The one we waited for. If you take my lead, it's you that I adore. Why don't
It's about an hour and a half since I bought the ticket. We've exited the cave. We're just making our way down the river. I don't know why, but I just thought the village would be like right outside the cave. But yeah, it's a good kilometre or so away so far. This side of the river is a lot more picturesque than the other side of the river.
let's go together back to where we belong.
Right, this is us, and I think we get a quick stop at the village here and then we head back.
Truth be told, the village stop was a little bit confusing to me. I wasn't 100% sure what the boundaries were and where we were meant to go. It's quite a small area, so I had a little walk around, met some of the local kids, and took some photos of the information signs. There is a sign saying that you need to get to your boat within a certain amount of hours. I didn't realise it at the time, but the French looks like a number 2 here. I thought the numbers was just missing, and I wasn't sure how long we had before the boatman left. Feel free to pause these for any information, but the village, for me, not a highlight.
Alright guys, so it's about 10:05 and I've decided just to head back. Now the village itself felt like I was missing something, like I wasn't sure if I was meant to go further than that little landing area. Half an hour was enough for me. All in all, a nice experience. Now we are going with the flow of the water this time and there are no land stops, so it should be a much quicker journey back. So I'm just going to enjoy the views. It's getting a bit busier now, probably approaching 10:30. I've seen a few boats going past. It's not busy if you compare it to Puerto Princesa Underground River, for example, but compared to what we had this morning, when I got to the Na Hin village, there was only about 3 or 4 boats there. This is that original landing point, first one. All right, 10:39 and we're back. Honestly, that was about 40 people just walked past. That's the benefit of coming early. So that's about a 40-minute boat ride to get back. This entrance is awesome. The light here has got like this bluish and orangish tone. It's orange down low and blue up top where it's reflecting off the water. Good half-day activity. Next is Nam Thuen Cave. Gonna get a coffee in town.
1 hour later.
Just leaving the Riverside Resort now. Heading back to Na Hin for tonight. On the way, just gonna stop in at Nam Thuen Cave where I went the other day, but didn't have enough time to visit. So we're gonna go inside today, have a look at it.
Having been to Nam Thuen Cave already yesterday for lunch and a coffee, I knew exactly what was in store for getting there. It's quite easy, only about 10 kilometres to the north of Kong Lor Cave.
Yes, this is Nam Thuen Cave. I just don't have time to do the 4-hour tour, so I'm just going in by myself. You can do it unguided, just 50,000 kip. I heard from some people yesterday as they were leaving that you go in a certain way and it's all good, and then eventually you run into a lot of insects and stuff attracted to the head torch, and that's the point that they turned around. To be honest, I'll probably do the same thing. The sheer size of this place is what's going to be hard to show or portray on the camera. It's massive and it just keeps going. So the light at the moment is probably 250 metres in, around this corner. That's where we're headed next. So I'm starting to get some bugs around. We are in the pitch black section, probably 500 or 600 metres in now. The floor is uneven underfoot, you can't make good time. And you want to use your headlamp to look at the awesome cave and how big it is, but you got to keep looking down at the ground or risk rolling an ankle. I'm going to make my way back to the entrance now. The bugs are quite annoying. This is awesome, definitely worth it. Place is massive. I'm just on my way back out now. Probably only went about 1 kilometre. The bugs start to get way too bad. The guides go in about 5 kilometres on the half-day one. That's not even the end of the cave system. This cave system is massive. The ceiling, 25, 30 metres, and it didn't really get much smaller the further back you went. To be honest, I rate this just as much as Kong Lor. Now I'm going to head into Na Hin. Normally on the Thakhek Loop, you would do 3 nights, as in tomorrow you would leave from either here or Na Hin and you'd head back to Thakhek. I have a bit of extra free time. I'm going to do some zip lining, abseiling at the rock viewpoint. I want to go swing past, ask them about which packages. There's 2 that I want to do. If I can fit both in one day, awesome. And then I'll drive back to Thakhek on the day after that, which is 1 day more than a normal Thakhek Loop.
Since time had got away from me so much, I needed to go straight to the rock viewpoint before the offices closed and I could ask them about the 2 packages that I wanted to do. So I went to the rock before heading into Na Hin.
Just booked in 2 half-day courses, the half-day zip line and another one which is Tampon Cave. I'm going to be exhausted by the end of it, but this is why I booked that extra day. I need to go get fuel, dinner, accommodation in Na Hin. Alright guys, so I'm back in Na Hin now. Where I am now is Farman View Guest House. That is it for today. 2 caves, really, that's all we've done, but geez, they took some time and they were impressive. Just to the rock viewpoint, I've inhaled a lot of dust. The road to get here is shit house. There's so many potholes, but I'm here now, rock viewpoint. Gonna have breakfast at the cafe and then get ready for the half-day zip lining course.
The rock viewpoint marks a final stop for a lot of people on their journey around the Thakhek Loop. For me, I had 1 extra night compared to the ordinary 3-night tour, so I had a full day worth of activities here. Normally, people will come here for a half day and then ride back to Thakhek. The 2 most common bookings for people doing the Thakhek Loop is the introductory 2-hour activity, which is 5 zip lines and a suspension bridge. Above that sits the half-day course, which jumps up to 12 zip lines, 2 suspension bridges and some via ferrata. There is also a full-day course. I'd booked in a half-day course before lunch, then I was going to have lunch and do Pong Cave afterwards. This is good fun actually. Done a lot of similar activities, but this is by far the best one that I've done of this kind of zip lining via ferrata. The landscape is incredible. After about an hour and a half, you will arrive at the panoramic viewpoint, a welcome stop to have a drinks break and enjoy the peace and quiet. The half-day course was brilliant, but at the same time I was glad that it ended because I was starving and I needed some coffee and sketty. After lunch we were straight back into the next activity, Pong Cave. First involves a bit of a demonstration of how to end it all if life gets too mundane. The walk down to the cave starts just near the log cabins, only a couple hundred metres away from the rock viewpoint. So finished the half-day zip line about 12:30ish because it was a big group. There's just a lot of lining up for the zip lines. I stopped filming eventually. They all kind of look the same at the end of the day, especially on film. Still recommend doing it. Personally, I wouldn't do the 4-day one. I think the 2-hour one would be enough for most people. If you want to do a few more, then do the half day. Our walk is only about 2 or 3 minutes. Not a long walk. It's nice. It's basically a descent straight down. where we're going. This is insane, just hanging here. This is a 90-metre abseil, and I don't think many people do this one, just because of the cost, but pretty good so far. I've no idea how good this is going to look on the camera. As always, I don't think it does it justice. Alright, so that's Pong Cave. I think we're going to head up now using the winch. Could sit here for hours and look at it. Yeah, we're about 90 metres down from where we took off from, and it's very peaceful down here. Got it all to myself as well, which is always a plus for me. I do like to get away from the crowds. This is one of the better things I've done, I think. Yeah, some of the views, it's just crazy. That's where we came from. There you go, that's Pong Cave. Alright guys, that's it for the rock viewpoint. That's a full day, 2 half-day activities. The zipline definitely packs more in. Pong Cave is a very unique experience. Not many times you get to drop down 90-metre abseil. You can still visit the rock viewpoint doing the normal Thakhek Loop. You'll just do one of the half-day activities or ride back to Thakhek that afternoon. Having this full day has freed up another half-day activity, but it's also freed up my drive back to Thakhek morning. Not many people do it, but I'm going to try to check out a place called Heup Cave. Similar to Kong Lor, it goes through out the other side where there's an abandoned temple and supposedly an old village. Just leaving Na Hin. It's about 6:30. I'm actually heading to the rock viewpoint for breakfast, just because it's 20 minutes closer to Thakhek, and they open half an hour earlier than a lot of places in Na Hin seem to open at 7:30. So I saved myself about 50 minutes just by going there 20 minutes on the ride and half an hour earlier opening. So the doors do open at 7, but the food doesn't get served till 7:30. Because I've already parked up and come down here and decided to take a few more photos and stuff, it's no point leaving now. I'm just going to stick around another 10 minutes and then they'll be serving food, and then we'll head off to, hopefully, Heup Cave, which is a bit of a more unknown one. There's not much info on it, so hopefully I can figure out some things as I go. Having done a full day's worth of activities yesterday at the rock, it freed up this morning on the ride to Thakhek to visit Heup Cave. I'd done a little bit of research, looking at the front page of the Google search results. I knew already about the cave and the tour that was involved and the golden Buddha statue just outside the other side, but I also saw these new mentions of an ancient temple or an ancient city consistently referenced as being 3 to 4 kilometres away from the cave entrance. So off I went, heading south on Road 13 all the way to Ban Na Kok, turning east or left at the town of Sam Bon, heading out towards the river. Just turned down a gravel road now, heading to Ban Na Kok. The road out to these villages along the river is in pretty good condition these days. It doesn't turn to gravel until right near the river itself. Alright, another lesson that I should already know by now, but don't follow Google Maps. If you look on maps.me, the place that you want, Ban Na Kok, is in a different location. Once I rode into the town itself, it felt like I was in another world, 100 years ago. This is awesome. Feels like I've gone back in time. I've no idea what's going on. Not a word of English spoken, but they seem to give me a ticket, so I think this is going ahead. I mean, I haven't even done anything yet, but this seems so much better than all the other touristy stuff. There's literally no one here. No one speaks English. 30,000, 35,000 kip, I think it was from memory.
I'm unsure on what that involves, as well as the cave, whether we get to see the temples, but we'll find out.
Take my hand.
So the boat ride's all of 30 seconds and then you start the hike towards the cave. We're approaching the limestone cliff face now. Yeah, maybe a kilometre hike, and then the cave system itself is 1.1 kilometres through to the other side.
When you look at me this way, I find it hard to not give in.
Pretty surprised actually that I made it to Nam Thuen. I was sceptical about being able to find a guide in the town, especially after Google sent me to some abandoned place. Hopefully we can get to their temple on the other side. Now I do believe that we do have to wade through water, so I've taken everything out of my pockets, put it up high. They've put all these little bags in just to make the floor a bit more sturdy, I think. Keeps you a little bit higher out of the water. Done that many caves now in the loop, it's impossible to even remember them all. In my head I was trying to rank them all, but they all offer something different. This one would be right at the top though. It's got the added benefit of all these pools of water, and same as Nam Thuen, no lights at all. You just walk through with your head torch. I think we're approaching the exit now. And one man's exit is another man's entrance, but for me today it's an exit first before it's an entrance. Right, we made it. This entrance is more impressive than the other one. This is what I came for, was the cave, just to walk through. Any temples and that would just be a bit of a bonus. Just approaching some hut in the forest now. I have no context. I'm just walking through the jungle of the forest. The place that runs the rock viewpoint is like Green Discovery Laos, but they do run tours out here as well. It'll cost you a lot more than 30,000 kil, but it's different. This is interesting, just walking with no guidance. It's kind of cool in its own way. Hey, Pap, what you doing? So this village on the other side of Nam Thuen Cave is the one with the Buddha statue. Look, I've read things about there being some abandoned temple or abandoned city somewhere, but it also said that was 3 to 4 kilometres away. So doing a 6 to 8 kilometre loop, as well as trying to communicate this with the guides, just seems a bit far-fetched for today, when I really need to make it back to Thakhek to get the bus to Pakse tonight. So I'm just going to go meet the guides, hopefully we head back, and then I'll start making my way back to Thakhek.
I couldn't help but shake the feeling that something just wasn't quite adding up. This was both when I was there, but even more so when I was editing the video. Mega World Asia has a post which has some information about these secret village tours. Nowhere does it mention a 3 to 4 kilometre walk. Their YouTube video, which I hadn't seen at the time, has this interesting bit here with video footage and a caption saying that the guide mentions that these stone pillars are 600 years old. So I was completely unaware at the time, but it is now my belief that where we were was the ancient city or the ancient temple. I believe the other websites simply copied each other. One of them, for some reason, came up with this 3 to 4 kilometre number, and the rest just copied. It's a shame that these are the first results on Google Maps, because they are incorrect. This golden Buddha statue is marking the site of an ancient city or temple.
Like a little oasis there. Looks pristine. Light just sort of reflecting through the trees. Today's going to be a long day. I was up early. Got the overnight bus, which I assume I won't sleep much on, down to Pakse, and I've got to change, get down to Nakasong, get the boat down to Don Khon. But yeah, that's pretty much the next step of my adventure. This has been Nam Thuen. It's definitely off the beaten path for now. No English-speaking guides and all that. It's still very much on the lesser explored side, that's for sure.
Are
Even without filming too much, it's still a good 40-minute walk back to the river to catch the boat across. Now, just a word of warning, as you leave Heup, they will try and make you tip the guides, which is fine. I was going to give them 50k each, didn't have any change though, so I had to hand over 100. In the end, I handed over 100 per guide. It's a little bit annoying, they don't do anything except take you across the river. The rest of it I could have done myself, and I didn't ask for 2 guides. So in the end, with the tips, it was 230,000. So comparing it to Kong Lor for a single person was 300,000, which to me doesn't seem too bad. I would pay 230,000 if that was the cost straight up. It just annoyed me because after I paid the 100,000 per guide, they were saying that I needed to pay another 100,000, and they had this bloke there standing there, and I was looking at him like, "You're not going to do anything, mate. I'll walk straight through you." So in the end, I just turned the scooter on and rode away. But sours it a little bit, but still recommend doing. I would recommend you set your price with the guides at the start. Maybe ask for 1 guide if you can, and just pay them up front, and then don't get stitched up at the end. Not that 100,000 per guide is a stitch up, but it's on the steeper side. After riding back to Thakhek, I went to the bus terminal to try and organise my transport. Now, what I'm about to show you, I did not realise at the time, but there are actually 2 options to get down to Nakasong. All of the information online, which is all I was aware of at the time, suggested that you had to go to Pakse and change buses. However, you can see here there is 1 sleeper bus going directly to Nakasong. I didn't see this option at the time, however by pure coincidence, this is the bus that I ended up getting on through other means. However, note that there's only 1 departure time, whereas the buses that terminate in Pakse come roughly on the hour, and there are multiple. Alright guys, so this is Pakse International or Provincial Bus Terminal. There are some pretty crappy reviews about the practices that go on from getting from Thakhek to Pakse. They'll drop you off at a bus terminal to the north of town, force you to get a tuk-tuk, when in reality the bus is going to Pasong, which is in the middle of town. Unfortunately, no matter which bus station I go to, I then have to get to the 8-kilometre bus terminal just outside of Pakse to get down to 4,000 Islands. So either way, I'm going to have to transfer from one bus terminal to another in Pakse, so it doesn't really help me too much. Anyway, so I need to go return the bike. Naga Hostel and Cafe do transfers as well. It might even be worth me doing a full transfer down to 4,000 Islands. It'll cost me more, but everything will be organised. Otherwise, I'll be back here paying for a sleeper bus. We'll see what happens, see how I feel later. Time to return the bike, I think. I've come here to Naga Hostel and they organise transport directly from Naga Hostel straight to Nakasong. That's 410,000. I've booked 2 tickets because normally you'd share a bed, so it's 820,000 total for me. Basically that means I paid $26 to not have to share a bed with a stranger and I get to spread out on the bed. I was going to do the same thing through the normal bus terminal. It would have been 400,000 to Pakse, plus a tuk-tuk fee to the 8-kilometre bus terminal would have been probably north of 100k with the scam, and then I still would have had to get another bus from Pakse to Nakasong. So this way is just so much easier. After returning my scooter and heading back to Naga Hostel, I was able to have a shower and charge all my things for the bus journey. I was definitely glad to have paid for 2 tickets, given the size of these beds. With an inflatable pillow, I was comfortable enough to finally get to sleep. By the time the bus goes through Pakse, most people have left the bus and it's quite empty, just the tourists now heading down to the 4,000 Islands. The beauty about this bus is that you don't have to wait around at the bus terminal for the buses to start running down to Nakasong. We arrived at the bus terminal in Nakasong just before 8 o'clock, whereas the buses from Pakse would only just begin to start running now. We were already here, ready to catch the ferry towards Don Det or Don Khon. Alright guys, so that was an ordeal. I'm glad I paid for 2 tickets. 7:40 we got in this morning. That was basically about 12 hours on the bus. It's about a 3-minute walk down to the foreshore. I'm heading to Don Khon, but before I get on the boat, I'm just going to go do one activity. I am going to Khon Phapheng. Now, you can visit this from Don Det and Don Khon with a full-day kayak tour. The alternative is that you get the ferry from Don Det or Don Khon back to Nakasong, then you get a tuk-tuk around to the waterfall, but it's too early to check into my accommodation anyway. It's because I'm already in Nakasong. I cancel out that ferry trip basically for no reason. I just catch a tuk-tuk immediately. So 100k each way, 200k total. Couldn't be bothered bartering. That's a good price as far as I'm concerned. It's about 20 minutes, 25 minutes in a tuk-tuk. If you arrive via a night bus, I think it might be the best way to do it, to be fair. So the tuk-tuk driver gave me 1 hour here, which I think will be more than enough. And keep in mind, it is the dry season as well, so it won't look as impressive as it would have in the wet season.
Right guys, just quickly, because I'm already running late for the tuk-tuk driver and he's got all my bags. Sacred tree, also on this site. Quite a long walk to the best viewpoints are right at the end, so when you enter, I recommend just walking straight to the end because that's where the best viewpoints are.
After this, we headed back to the pier to get the ferry across to Don Khon. You can see the prices listed here. Because I was travelling by myself, I had to pay the full $165,000. It is cheaper to go to Don Det because it is closer.
165,000 kip for a single person to go to Don Khon. Hopefully there's some accommodation options. I have not pre-booked anything. I do prefer to book things as you get there because you get a better price and more money goes to the actual place. So a brief overview, where we are now is down the furthest south of Laos that you can get. The border with Cambodia is hundreds of metres away. They call it 4,000 islands, nobody's actually counted them. A lot of people will come through this region if they are crossing the land border to Cambodia or from Cambodia. This gives me a chance to break up the motorbike loops and just relax a little bit, exploring at my own pace. I started with the Thakhek Loop, breaking it up 4,000 islands, then I'm heading down to Pakse, or up to Pakse. The two main islands, Don Det and Don Khon, they're the ones you're going to pick to stay at. Don Det is a bit more backpackerish. Don Khon is marketed more to families. I chose Don Khon. All the actual attractions, the waterfalls, are on Don Khon, which is what I want to see. Let's enjoy the ride now, and then when we land, we'll try to find some accommodation.
I had about 5 different properties that I was willing to check out and stay at. Fortunately, one of them is right here at the pier. It's called Bontai Resort, and they had a room. Straight off the pier, literally, Bontai Resort. It's got awesome reviews. I had already had an eye on this one. The other one was Pan's Guest House, but I think that's all booked out. The room was $20 per night. It's a little bit more expensive if you book online. It had good views across the river, mosquito nets, 2 beds, plenty of hanging space, and a shower and toilet bathroom that was big enough for me. Just riding around, trying to enjoy the afternoon. I was going to film something actually. I was down at the old French port, and then the pedal has come off. So the ride back is proving a bit more challenging, and I think that has made the decision easier in my mind to just rent a scooter instead. In the meantime, I've got to try and get this thing back home with one pedal. I think it's faster than walking, but only just. So this is stop number 1. This is the French port, the one on Don Det. It's still in operation now. Boats come and leave from here just to drop off tourists and whatnot. And yeah, this is the northeast corner of Don Det. There's not really much to say about this one. Walking around here, there are no plaques or pieces of information whatsoever, but it does make for a good sunrise. I did decide to rent a scooter in the end. It's just easier. I don't want to deal with these crappy bikes again. So I started in Don Det. I was looking for a place to come for sunrise, but also there is a coffee place here called Jay's Coffee that I'm hoping has good coffees. I haven't had a good coffee yet. There's a little temple nearby. I don't think it's going to be overly exciting, but then it's just gone 7 a.m, so some places should start opening up for breakfast soon.
So next on the list was Wat Don Det. This is a temple, not too far, probably a couple hundred metres away from where we were at the French Old Port. Looks like it's still under construction, to be fair. A lot of the structures look like they're not finished. It's either not open yet, as in at 7 a.m, or it's not open full stop because it's not finished. But it is nice and peaceful, just hanging out amongst the cows. Hello. That's Wat Don Det and the French Old Port. Two activities, neither of which I have much context about or information about, but you can come have a look at them if you want.
After the temple visit, I found a restaurant on the east coast of Don Det, overlooking the Mekong, for breakfast. Then I headed down the ring road on the west side. The main road is through the middle of the island, but there is a ring road, not in as good condition. On this western side, there are lots of places that they call little beaches, with little beach bars attached.
So this is just a little bonus one. I hadn't actually written this down among us two activities. More of a late afternoon, nighttime activity thing. People come down here and play a bit of music and whatnot. They've got like a little beach bar and some chairs, and this one here is La Folie Paradise Beach. So yeah, I just thought I'd check it out since I'm riding past it. Obviously there's no one here at the moment because it's about 8:30 in the morning. Still haven't had a good coffee. Jay's coffee was not open, so the search continues. Got the fire pit set up there, little beach bar, a couple of hammocks over there, and the river's nice and calm here, so I don't know, if you're staying on Don Det, it wouldn't be a bad place to come. Okay, so that is essentially it for Don Det. There's more accommodation options there, I think. They're a little bit cheaper, but as far as the, what you'd call attractions, I guess, more of it is over on Don Khon, where I'm staying. So just behind me is the Don Det Don Khon bridge, and obviously it links the two islands. A bit of a landmark, I guess, if you want to take photos or just as a subject for sunsets and stuff. If you're on Don Khon, like where my resort is, Bon Tai, not only that resort, but a lot of the others with the waterfront views. The sunset's just behind the bridge there, so it's a really good sort of landmark for that. And yeah, it's just a nice bit of architecture to look at, I guess. Technically on Google Maps, this is marked as two different items, but it's the same thing. It's the automotive museum and the French locomotive. It's marked twice on Google Maps, but this is it. And this is the first thing I've come to that actually has some information. So there's 4 plaques around there giving you information about the rail, why it was built, which was because the French were trying to access China via the Mekong, and they had to get boats hopefully upstream and whatnot. But obviously you got all the falls around the 4,000 islands. So the southern French port, they had to get the rail from there to the northern French port in Don Det to transport steamboats so they could cross the rapids, which were insurmountable with the steamboats. Bit of history, which is good. For once, free entry, you just walk in, walk around. There's just one steam engine there and about 4 plaques worth of information. So yeah, that's a good one actually. I like reading.
After leaving the railway memorial, there was a little temple to visit on the way through to the next waterfall. This temple, same as the one on Don Det, They're on the shortcut roads that cut across the island. This one has the gates open, the road goes straight through the temple. Overall, I'd say this is better than the last temple, almost by default, just because the gates are open. I'd say it is smaller than the other one. It's peaceful amongst the birds. You would not see this if you didn't know, if you weren't looking for it, because it's the shortcut from east to west across the island. Most people just take that main ring road. I do like these entrance gates, the archways, and this is kind of technically on the way if you want to go through the north end of Don Khon and down to Abseil waterfall, which is where I'll probably head next. So 20,000 kip entry, there was no scooter or bike parking fee, so 20,000 kip, very cheap. The restaurant is in disrepair. I'm not sure if they are, but it looks like they're partway through either rebuilding or building. Once you cross the bridge, there is a hiking track heading east still. I'm just going to follow this as far as I can. Alright guys, so this is Khon Phapheng waterfall. Similar to Khon Phapheng in that it's a series of different rapids along the Mekong flowing downstream. Most rivers do. This one is a bit of freedom to jump around the rocks and stuff. There are some more protected parts with less flow that you could go for a swim. So for 20,000 kip, this is definitely right up there, value for money wise, especially considering the fact that you can jump across the rocks, go for a swim. You've got a lot of freedom here to do whatever you want. So these little contraptions that you see in the water, they're for catching fish. What they do with the fish, it's none of my business. So I just stopped and had lunch, just cooled down for a little bit in the shade. Still on Don Khon. This is the Khon Thai temple, or Wat Khon Thai. That is a cow. Yeah, so this is the third temple that we've seen today. These are not magnificent temples that you would travel around to see. I'm just showing you what is on the island, but something to do, something to see. We've pretty much covered most of the activities that you can do, but that's not really what the 4,000 Islands is about. It's more just come and relax and go at a slower pace. There are a few sort of landmarks or activities to check out still, but I'm not going to try and rush them in today. I'm going to get to them tomorrow. I do want to relax in the afternoon. So that is Wat Khon Thai. Just behind me is actually some ruins from the Khmer Empire, which was the same ones that built Angkor Wat. These are the only ruins from that empire that remain, apparently, on the 4,000 Islands. And I got that off a Google review, so don't quote me on that. There's no informational plaques about it. It's not even fenced off or anything, which is pretty crazy, but this is them. I'm not going to do too much more this arvo. Since it is the heat of the day though, I might just go check out a beach down the south of the island. After witnessing the great migration of Don Khon, it was time to head off the ring road, down south to a little beach.
Alright guys, this is the last thing for today. It is Kong Lor Beach. It's a 1 kilometre dirt road off the main ring road. You'll see it signposted, and this is where you end up. Where I am now is literally 30-40 metres from the entrance. You just got to turn right and climb over a little hill, and then you get this little portion to yourself. There are a few people here, but it's not busy by any stretch of the imagination, and the views here are fantastic. The view behind me, I've just set up the camera to take a few shots, and I might even come back here tomorrow for a swim. So we've had a reasonably busy day. We've basically ticked off every activity. I deliberately didn't rush through them because I saved a couple for tomorrow. This place is pretty peaceful.
Unfortunately, instead of having a relaxing afternoon, I noticed on the way back that my tyre was flat. Not just an inner tube popped, but the sidewall ripped. I took it to a bike mechanic and had to wait around for them to fix it. This took a couple of hours out of my afternoon.
Alright guys, so where I was this morning, that was the old French port on Don Khon. The ports were built for a rail line to bypass falls like where we are now. This is Lipp or Si Phan Falls. That's an awesome place to go for sunrise and sunset. Straight across the border is Cambodia, like a couple hundred metres away is Cambodia. Where I am now is Lipp Falls on the west side of Don Khon. 33,000 kip entry. Let's take a look around. So Lipp Falls at the moment, 33k entry is definitely worth it as long as you ignore the do not go beyond this point signs and you come down and crawl along the rocks. If you don't get any really good viewpoints, but down here you get some pretty good viewpoints. I'm about to head up. I've just seen the gate there for the suspension bridge behind me there. It's 250,000 kip. There is also a zip line, 750,000 kip. No way in hell am I doing that. One, for cash limitations, but two, having done the half-day course at the Rock Viewpoint on the Thakhek Loop, this just looks pathetic in comparison. I think this is better than Pha Phapheng just because the views that you get here are a little bit better. Today is my last day on the 4,000 Islands. After this, we're going to head into Pakse tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going to try and enjoy for what it is, which was meant to be relaxing. It hasn't been so far with the pop tyre and that ruined my relaxation time yesterday. This is the end of the Phi Falls walkway. Is it worth 250k? No, not really if you compare it to other activities. Is it the best waterfall I've visited in the 4,000 islands? Yes, it is, because of how close you can get to the waterfall, with the exception of Abseil waterfall, if you prefer your rock hopping and swimming, but scenically, this is the best one. I do recommend the walkway. I do think it's a rip-off, but I also recommend it. Just going to take some photos and videos and then we'll head back.
This light jacket is no match for the bitterness of my attachments. Iron bracelets, clicking teeth, carving letters into dirty sheets, origami paper.
Dropped off all my big bags, had a shower, went for a ride again, trying to find some good coffee one last time. Fortunately, Jay's Coffee was open this time, and the coffee is definitely the best that I tried during my time on the island. The reviews were accurate this time. I found another place later for lunch. It was good to finally enjoy the island pace and relax a little bit. There is one more good coffee shop on the island that I found anyway. It's right near the old French port in Don Det. That pretty much wrapped up my time on the 4,000 islands. I had the first boat back to the mainland tomorrow to head off to the Pakse Loop. The following morning I got a bit of a sleep in. I was able to return the scooter and pick up my washing. All we had to do today was make our way to Pakse to start the next activity, the Pakse Loop, which fortunately from where we are in the 4,000 islands is quite a short journey. I just had to get a ferry from Don Khon. I took the earliest one available, and from there you land in Nakasong on the mainland, you catch a bus. The bus, although not the most comfortable, gave me a chance to lie down, which was good since I was suffering from some food poisoning. Once in Pakse, all I had to do was go and find a bike.
Alright guys, so I made it to Pakse. I still feel like rubbish, so I'm just going to run my errands, go get a scooter, go get water, go get cash out. I need a lot of cash out, and try and get some food down. See if hopefully I can start the loop tomorrow. I'm not going to film any of this. I'll go over what bike I've got and where I got it from later, but for now I just need to try and get some stuff done and see if I can stomach some food. So yeah, we'll catch up tomorrow. I am on my way to the first attraction of day one of the Pakse Loop.
The ride out to the first attraction today is quite an easy one. The roads are in good condition. It takes about 40 minutes.
Before it's too late, why we keep falling
Alright guys, so we made it. We are on the Pakse Loop. There wasn't too much to film on the way out of town. The road conditions are brilliant compared to the Thakhek Loop, but the scenery nowhere near as good. We're just on stop one. It's known as Pha Swem waterfall, that's the area. This one is actually marked Nagao, and this area is abandoned. What you will be recommended from places like Misnoi Motorbike Rental on their maps that they hand out, Pha Swem waterfall is on there, but it's crossed out. They no longer recommend people come here. The reason being is because it is abandoned. There is no parking fee, parking attendant. We're going to check out Pha Swem waterfall on the way back out. So just on the bike rental, I went with a Honda 125. It was only 190,000 kit per day. I can extend it with WhatsApp message. I went for 5 or 6 days, I can't remember. Yeah, it's just more comfortable and it gets to higher speeds easier. I went with Laos Motorbike Rental. I did check out Miss Noya, chatted to the owners there about the loop. So yeah, let's have a look around these two waterfalls and then we'll head on to Tayicseua Peak. Heading down to Tad Pha Swem now. There's a few other people turned up, so I'm not even bothering locking the bikes now. There's enough people here to make me feel a little bit safer about the bike not being stolen.
Help me see, how do I compare a different me? How do I compare? Can we let it be for just a little more?
Alright guys, so behind me is Pha Katai, Pha Katai. It's only about 150 metres away from Mark Nagal. Doesn't really have a rock pool as such, it's just water gushing downstream. If you're going to go for a swim, definitely pick the other one. It's a nice waterfall, both of them. Next one, we've got to go 2 kilometres on that dirt road back to the main road, 2k up the main road, and then we turn off the main road again out to Tad Shan Pi. So yeah, don't know how long this is going to add to the trip, but let's go check it out.
Why we keep calling, wandering aimless.
So we're at stop number 2 now on the Pakse Loop. This is Tad Shan Pi, and there are 2 of those on the Pakse Loop. So most people don't come to this one. I don't know how to get around to the front, so I'm going to go for a little walk around, see if I can get a better angle of it. So I sent the drone up with a couple different paths down here. I thought I saw 3. We're going to hit the main road again soon. Still got another 3 waterfalls to check out today. And coffee plantation, which I'm not going to do the tour on, I'm just going to grab a coffee.
About 25 minutes up the road is Mr. Vieng's coffee plantation. This place runs tours and they are quite popular. Because they are at set times, it has a weird knock-on effect of creating a bottleneck of tourists, and then all the attractions have waves of people coming through as they finish their tours and move on to the next activity. I decided to avoid all this. I had coffee and lunch and then I left, so I didn't get stuck with a wave of people at the tour. The next stop was something different from the waterfalls. It was a forest temple with some Buddha statues.
Apologies if you wanted to see Mr. Vieng's coffee plantation, but you'll have to watch another video. That sort of thing didn't really interest me. Stopped for a coffee. It was not my kind of coffee, I'll put it that way, and just moved on. It's a good chance to skip the crowds. Where I am now is the Big Buddha Forest Temple. Just the whole environment with the trees, the surroundings and that. This is something I would enjoy anyway, and maybe you will too. Just going to head to the cave. So some of these trees are said to be over 1,000 years old. The road in's not great, but once you're here, this is very relaxing. Nice and quiet, it's untouched, really old trees. Definitely worth a stop, this one. So this is the cave, but not going to go exploring. This one has CO2 deficiency once you go down, so very dangerous. So I might even head into Tad Low just to get my accommodation and get rid of the bag off the back of the bike, and there's 3 waterfalls to check out near Tad Low.
Tad Low is only about another 15 minutes out of the Wat Pa Big Buddha Forest Temple. You do need to cross the bridge and get on the east side of the river.
I went to Bolaven Garden, Tad Low first. Unfortunately, they were full. Then I went to Palamai Guest House, and the only rooms left were the shared rooms, like shared bathroom, shared toilet, which is annoying, but I didn't want to keep looking, so I took it, 150,000. So that's Tad Low Resort. I parked the motorbike there. So I've got 3 waterfalls to check out still for today. Tad Hang, Tad Low, and Tad Swang. Now, Tad Low and Tad Hang can be accessed from the other side of the river as well. I have heard that this side is better, the side that the town is on.
is Tad Hang. Probably a little bit rough for swimming unless you want to go in the shallow rock pools here, but reasonably impressive. And you just go to Tad Low Lodge and you walk down. You can hop across all these rocks and the little pallets that they set up. You might get your feet a little bit wet, but yeah, Tad Hang waterfall. It's only a couple hundred meters away from Tad Low, which is what we're going to check out next.
You can walk from Tad Hang to Tad Low, but because of the time restraints, I didn't want to walk there, then walk back to get my scooter to drive out to Tad Song later, so I ended up riding straight to Tad Low.
So this is Tad Low. I started the walk from Tad Hang to Tad Low and I decided to give up, just bring the scooter around. There is more scooter parking here. So far, everywhere that we've gone has had free scooter parking. Now there's a few different viewpoints of Tad Low. We're just going down to the lower one now. So this viewpoint's really good. There's also a suspension bridge about 50 metres back, downstream. Can't access it at the moment, it's all locked off. You've got to get tickets and harness up.
Tad Low was a real highlight of the day. I loved the way that the whole community was out at the waterfall, running across the top of the waterfall, jumping in, or even bathing in the river above.
Alright guys, that's Tad Low Falls. I need to shoot off soon to check out Tad Swang if I'm going to do it today, otherwise I probably won't do it at all.
Riding out to Tad Song, again it's important not to follow Google Maps directions. You have to cross the river again and do a big loop out to this road shown here.
I think 50 metres this way is a lookout, but then there's something else 850 metres away. So I'm going to go to this 50 metre lookout, but this is Tad Swang. It's 10,000 kip to park your motorbike, and that's it. This is that lookout point. Pretty sure that tiny little bit of water over there is the current waterfall in dry season. It's like a slow trickle over the falls. I'm going to see if I can get on top of the falls. Alright guys, this is Tad Song Waterfall. This is the last one of the day. Dry season, not much water flow, but it's one of the more striking scenes you'll get on this whole entire loop. The sun's setting now, I've got to head back in to get dinner. I think tomorrow's going to be a bit more relaxing. Yeah, that's it for day one, and I'll see you on day two.
Day 2 on the Pakse Loop, I left quite early from Tad Low village, heading towards a coffee resort.
Hey guys, we're on day 2 now of the Pakse Loop, and this is the day that diverges between the big loop and the small loop. So where I am now is just past, or just in Phapheng, and this is part of the small loop as well. From here we'll head east, whereas the small loop would head south. This is a Chinook coffee resort. It is extremely peaceful. And yeah, I left early-ish this morning just to come here and grab breakfast because it knocks 40 minutes off the ride. A bit more riding today, but less waterfalls. I think our coffee's ready. It's actually not that expensive for how nice a place this is. Alright guys, so if you're looking for this on Google Maps, it's just called Extra Loop. It's pretty easy to spot. It's the loop road. Instead of going the main road and heading east on the big loop, you just do this one. It eventually joins up with the main road again. Okay, so we're on that scenic loop. We're about 2/3 of the way through. I'd say it's pleasant and relaxing more than it is like spectacular. It's not going to match something like the Thakhek Loop, but yeah, this is quite scenic. Anyway, we'll continue on to the main road. Gonna head out towards Sa Kong and just try and enjoy the ride. I don't think it's gonna be anything spectacular to show you.
For people doing the big loop, day 2 is the one with the most kilometres. We started in Tad Loi, went down to Chinook Coffee Guest House, around the loop. Now we're heading out towards Tay Faek through the town of Sa Kong. After that, the final destination is Ban Hoi Kong, where we'll be staying. This is not too far from the waterfalls we want to visit tomorrow in Tad Tayicseua and Tad Khoo. From the point where the loop joins the main road, you have about 50 minutes of riding to get to Tad Faek.
Alright guys, this is Tad Faek, just gone past 11. Gonna head on down for a look and maybe chuck some boardies on, see if it's any good for a swim. Alright, so this is Phi Falls. There's a few different fronts to the waterfall. As far as I'm aware, again, it's free entry, so Pakse Loop has certainly proven to be cheaper than the Thakhek Loop.
The next waterfall is only about a 5-minute ride away.
That was Tad Faek. I was having fun until I sent the drone up and crashed it. I did find it. I spent about an hour and a half throwing sticks and rocks at it. Could not get it to budge. Oh well. This is the second waterfall of the day and the second last because we're only checking out 3 today. So let's check out Tad Hua Con and then we'll check out one more waterfall today and then I've got to go find accommodation. Alright guys, this is Tad Hua Con, second waterfall for today out of 3. Plenty of gentle spots for the swimming. I'm not going to stick around too long because I want to get a move on. I'm going to head into Hua Kong, look for some accommodation. Tad Hua Con, waterfall, worth a stop. The same sort of area as the last one. It's only about a 4-minute drive away.
After waving goodbye to my friends, it was time to hit the road. We're heading to Tad Katamtok. The roads themselves were quite good and the scenery started to get really good as well as we turn to the west, head back towards Pakse. This forked tree marks the turn-off to the Katamtok viewpoint.
Oh guys, so it looks like this little, what looks almost like a rubbish tip, is the marker for Katamtok. There's no actual sign off the main road and you can't actually get to it. This just goes to a viewpoint. Fuck, that is impressive. I really wish I had a drone.
Back on the road again, we're really close to Hua Kong now. It's only about 15 minutes and the road conditions are really good.
So I just pulled into Platinum Guest House. I just took the first one that I come across out of the two that I was going to choose. The other one, if you're interested, or this one's not got any room, is Tita Guest House. They're the two in Hua Kong that are the most recommended. So I'm all checked in. I just saw a coffee shop on the way in. I'm just going to go check it out. If you are early today, there are waterfalls you can check out. Saves us doing some tomorrow. We have about 7 or 8 to look at tomorrow.
I don't know how, but I seem to have fluked the only good coffee place in town. After the coffee, I felt a little bit more motivated, so I decided to head out and try visit Tad Khoo and Tad Diev waterfalls.
The road to get here is absolute dog shit. Coffee gave me a little bit of energy, so I'm going to check out Tad Khoo and then, time permitting, Tad Diev as well. Alright guys, this is Tad Khoo, 20,000 entry. That includes your scooter parking and entry to the falls. Might be an hour till sunset, not a whole lot of time. It's definitely getting a bit darker, there's like a haze in the air. Actually quite impressive. So that here. I gotta admit, this is actually pretty nice. I think just because of the weather, how cool it is right now. In fact, no one else is here. Okay guys, so that is Tad Khoo waterfalls. That's a wrap for day 2 of the Pakse Loop. So today, not the best day for me personally. Losing the drone, losing all that footage, but hopefully tomorrow goes a bit better. Alright guys, so it's been a very slow start today. We're going to be checking out possibly up to about 7 waterfalls, and this is all around the Tayicseua, which is kind of the name of the location. But there are a few different falls that you can check out. There are 2 or 3 real highlight ones and then a couple of small ones. And we'll head off to Nakasong today. So it's quite a lot of walking today, quite a lot of stairs. I had breakfast, yeah, I'll get a coffee in and then we'll head down past Tad Diev first. So I'm back on that road that I didn't like yesterday. Fuck this road. I thought we'd never make it.
Ever since you came into my life, it felt so good, it felt so right.
So we've made it to Tad Diev, 9:15. I do want to get to the other one, so I just wasn't sure what time Tayicseua would even open, so I didn't want to get there too early and wait, but it'll definitely be open. By the time I get there, it'll be past 9 o'clock. So anyway, let's check out Tad Diev just quickly.
I love you so. Don't you know, don't you know, no, don't you know, don't you know, don't you know, no, that I love you so.
Alright, so now after this we're going to head off to the main area of waterfalls, and you can't ride to each one, you basically park at the parking lot and you walk to each one. So there's going to be a lot of steps.
It's how you love, it's how you grow.
Got here at 9:20. I thought there would be people doing day trips in Pakse, but there's literally no one there. Yeah, let's check out the waterfalls. No idea which order I'm doing them in yet. think that's Kiet Oak Waterfall. So I'm going to head down to Kiet Oak Waterfalls at the end on the way out. I'm going to start, maybe try and do it clockwise.
My plans to start the day were pretty loose because I wasn't sure how long anything would take. I wanted to head off towards Halong Falls and then continue along the river in a clockwise direction and just see how I went for time.
First waterfall on our little loop will be Halong Falls. So we've got a nice set of steps here to head down, which is good. A bit sweaty, but I've got like 2.5 litres of water on me, so. Now this one is one of the more famous ones on the site because given the right conditions and the sun position, you'll get a rainbow in the mist of the spray. This is Tadgeru Halong. It's impressive, it's nice. I like the curvature of the rock and the open face. It would be more impressive in the wet season, obviously. Coming here at the start of the dry season, I think would be the best bet. After a period of no rain where everything's dried out, but the water's still flowing strong, that would be the way to go. So looking at that little mud map that we saw at the entrance, they have opened up trails to a lot more waterfalls than there were before. So I'm just going to do the trail clockwise. I might not get to all of them because I wasn't planning on it at the start. So, Tadgeru Halong, done. If I'm reading the map correctly, we don't have any steps back up. We should be walking along the river. I'm sure there'll be steps, otherwise it wouldn't be a waterfall. Has to be a change in elevation somewhere, but I think we're just walking along the river for a little bit. This would be a nightmare in the wet season. Paths like this. Doesn't feel like they really want you to go this way. So this is Little B Waterfall. This looks like a newly cut in track. To be honest, it looks like it's not quite finished. There's all this bamboo over the trail, but there are some stairs coming down. It's kind of confusing, but this is the right way to go because the map shows us on this side of the river, past Little B, and then crossing a wooden bridge. So yeah, Little B, it's only about 5 minutes walk from Halong Waterfall. Thakhek Waterfall must be the unmarked one where it's got that on the mud map. It says camping on the waterfall or camping on the rocks or something like that. It has to be that one. There's no other waterfall as far as I'm aware. This is Thakhek. This is a small one, lots of shallows here if you wanted to paddle, I guess, not very deep for swimming. If you want to get to where I am now, amongst all the rocks and that, there is a path. It looks like it hasn't been used in a long time, but you can tell that there is a path there, so to speak. Yeah, let's go have a look at the other side of the trail. So the mud map is showing you across the wooden bridge and chuck a right. It must be back closer to the bridge. So I'm going to go back to the wooden bridge, try to find that right. So the path's pretty hard to spot. Oh, there might be another one, but after I cross that wobbly log bridge, just chuck a right and see, kind of look up. It looks like there's a little bit thinner bit of jungle, which is the path that we're on down here. Jesus Christ, this is steep.
The camera definitely doesn't do it justice, but this trail just keeps on elevating and elevating up through the jungle.
It's not signposted at all that this is the way up. It's clearly a pathway. There's built-in steps and stuff along. All right, I'm back at the top now. Yeah, that was torturous. So as I climbed up, I came up to an intersection before this one where I am now that tees off
straight back down the hill towards the Vientiane Falls, whatever it's called. And then from there, you can walk a trail around to Kiet Oak. But I decided to just keep coming up the trail. I'm gonna go get something to eat to get more energy. Then I'm gonna go down the stairs to Kiet Oak. That was a nightmare.
Luckily, the restaurant has quite decent servings, fantastic views with a nice breeze. After lunch and a coffee, I decided to head down towards Kiet Oak waterfalls.
Okay, so now I'm taking the stairs down to Kiet Oak Falls. I think this way is going to be easier. So this is Kiet Oak. I don't think it's as steep a climb down as Phalang Falls was, but it's very steep. It's almost a ladder, so going back up just a bit, it's going to be painful. One of the main two falls, I'd say the main ones are this one, and Halang is probably the main one. So I'll see how close I can get without climbing over the wet rock. Now this is Kiet Oak Waterfall. This, I think, is what a lot of people confuse with Tad Tayicseua, but Tad Tayicseua is just the area. So this is one of the main waterfalls, the heaviest one. I'm going to shoot off now to Tad Mandurun, which is probably the last of the main ones around this area. If I have time, I'll head off to Eagle Falls as well. None of this feels particularly safe, but it's doing the job for now.
As you cross this bridge, you are standing on top of Mandurun Falls. However, as it's quite a big waterfall, there are a number of ladders you have to climb down to get to the base of the falls.
Well, this is the last of the main ones in the main area. I love the way it splits around this little island rock in the middle here. I call them island rocks, you call them whatever you want. It's heavy, it's noisy, it's not a good one for swimming. I'm not going to try and get around in front of the waterfall. One, I can't be bothered, I almost stacked it just standing there. And two, time constraints. What do you think of the falls so far? Which one's your favourite? Leave a comment down below. I don't care. This one's really noisy, which makes it the best. Because being noisy is what being a waterfall is all about. This little path between Kiet Oak and Mandurun, I am really enjoying. I thought I would not like it, but it's all covered in shade. It's not hectic like that one out of Kalalaway.
Although the path along the river is awesome, once you get to the stairs, it does start to hurt. I couldn't even be bothered speaking to the camera. Once you get back to the car park and get on your bike, the turn off to Eagle Falls is only about 1 minute away.
So you can ride to Eagle Falls. Just near where your ticket counter is, there's a sign. 400 metres to the car park. Now we just come down, probably only 20 metres down. This is a jumping platform. I'm not going to be jumping. I can't be bothered swimming in there to see how deep it is. So this is Eagle Waterfalls. This is probably one of the best ones we've had for swimming purposes. I am going to reward myself with a swim. Probably one of the best ones. There's no one here. I understand the other ones are taller, more noisy, which is what being a waterfall is all about.
but for swimming and a day entertainment area, this is by far the best. It would be nice to have someone else here just to operate the swing or something, but it's just a ghost town. It's 2:45. I haven't even gone for a swim yet. I don't recommend you do what I do in trying to get to all the waterfalls unless you like your photography, but if I was just coming to see them for a quick few photos, I'd go to Khe Ork and Halang Falls. They're the two main ones. They're the ones I'd go to. I'd come here to Eagle Waterfalls actually for a swim, and then I'd shoot off and continue the loop.
Put your arms around me. If we stay here like this is the only place where I wanna be. This is as long as we go.
Riding into Hawaii Kong to get my bags and then heading off to Paksong, we had some cloud cover in the afternoon, which made for some of the most scenic riding I'd had on the entire loop.
Alright, so just staying at Siri Guest House. Just gonna go fill up the scooter for tomorrow and try to find some dinner in Paksong. Anyway, that's today done. Okay guys, this is the last day on the Pakse Loop today. So basically we head from Paksong to Pakse, and that completes the loop, because the loop is beginning and ending at the same place. Interesting fact. The ride itself is not a long ride today, but there are 4 waterfalls to check out, known as the Four Sisters area. So we have Tad Yuang, spelled with a GN, obviously. Then we have Tad Phaeng, which is probably one of the more famous ones. So those two are on the south side of the road, and on the north side of the road we have Tad Shompi and Tad E2. So normally that would be the Pakse Loop complete. I'm doing an extra activity as well, just to visit Wat Phu Temple, which is an old ancient Khmer ruin.
Stay on the
So I've decided to start at Tad Phaeng. I think this opens at 8. So it's 20,000 to park the scooter and 65,000 to enter this sort of resort area. It's nice and peaceful here at the moment. Obviously, I'm the only person here.
Close your eyes.
So this is it. This is Tad Phaeng. This is the viewing platform. You can't get to the falls, you can't do anything. To pay 85,000 to park your scooter and enter for this, like, it looks nice because there's 2 waterfalls, but it's not a must-do activity in my opinion. I'll have a walk around, see if there's another viewpoint, but I don't know. If this is it, it's pretty underwhelming.
Calm your soul. Hold my hand. Don't let go. I understand.
Alright guys, that's Tad Phaeng waterfall. All in all, pretty disappointing.
For those that are interested, here are the prices in US dollars for the different zipline tour packages on offer. After this, I headed off to the next waterfall. It's kind of hard to see, but there is a small right-hand turn onto a gravel road, which heads out towards Tad E2.
So slight change of plans. The 4 waterfalls we do today, do in whatever order you want that suits you, but I'm heading to Tad E2 now. Basically surrounded by an abandoned resort. It's 20,000 kip. A guy will come out and take 20,000 kip off you. No drama as far as I'm concerned. Get a glimpse of it as you walk down here. Looks pretty impressive. The flow is quite strong and it's noisy, which is the most important thing.
Let me put the camera away. Try and navigate my way towards the falls now. This might be slippery. Probably 50 metres away from the waterfall, still getting that spray come across here. So this probably doesn't come up on pictures as well as Tad Phaeng, for example, but it's a much better experience than whatever the hell that was over at Tad Phaeng. It's just more up close and personal. All right, guys, so this is Tad E2. Would be slippery as hell in rainy season. It's all mossy and leafy and that, but in the dry season, not too bad. The falls themselves, very impressive. I don't know, that might be 30, 40 metres high. It's pretty cool. There's two little levels, two cascades down. Way better than Tad Phaeng, in my opinion.
Back on the road and only about 5 minutes away is Tad Champi waterfall. Although it is a dirt road, this road is nice and smooth all the way to the waterfall. At the top of the path to the waterfall is also a restaurant area. So just at Tad Champi now. So this one is 30,000 entry and 5,000 for scooter parking, so 35 total.
Thankfully, the walk down here is much more gradual than all the other waterfalls. It's a nice slope down this bank over here. So the one thing that differentiates Tad Champi is that some of the other waterfalls you can stand on the rocks under the water, but this one actually goes right behind the water curtain. So let's go check it out. This might be the noisiest of all of the waterfalls that we've visited so far, which therefore makes it the best. Views are stunning, and it's going to be pretty hard to beat this one. Top 100, easy. Time to go. Right to Pakse from Pak Song is about an hour, and then it's maybe another 50 minutes. So I've got about a 2-hour ride.
The last waterfall of the Four Sisters, for me, the way that I did it, is Tad Yuang waterfall. Only about another 5 minutes away. All these waterfalls are really close to each other. This is Yuang Falls. It is going to be pretty packed. It's bang on lunchtime. Hopefully not too many people down at the actual falls.
All right, guys, this is the last waterfall on the Pakse Loop, Tad Yuang Falls. There is a little path here. You come around on the left-hand side to get away from the people. Very slippery. Most people aren't going to bother with this sort of stuff. So have I saved the best till last? Pretty damn close. This and Tad Champi, definitely two highlights. Alright guys, that's it for the Pakse Loop. That's the Four Sisters. Now all we got left is a little ride back to Pakse itself, and that's the Pakse Loop done. So I'm going to head off now to Champasak and check out Wat Pho Temple.
If you are doing the Pakse Loop and returning to Pakse, it's only about 30 to 40 minutes ride back into Pakse. Because I was heading further off to Champasak, I had about an hour and a half's worth of riding. The roads out back towards Pakse and then south to Champasak are in really good condition. If your scooter is capable, you can quite comfortably get up to 100 kilometers an hour due to the good condition of the roads.
Lose that breath.
I entered Champasak at about 5 to 4, got into my accommodation and checked in by about 4:20. You can visit Wat Pho from Pakse, however because I wanted to visit at sunrise, it was easier for me to stay in Champasak nearby. It meant I didn't have to get up as early.
Just got into Champasak, checked into Na Hin River View. The whole reason we're in Champasak is I want to see Wat Pho. Now I could go now, it closes at 6, but the whole idea of coming here and staying in Champasak is I actually want to go at sunrise, which means going before it's open and just paying on the way out. I'm going to spend the afternoon just trying to get myself sorted for tomorrow.
Stay on the road, won't you? Stay on the road, it'll work in time.
Instead of walking around Champasak, I'm checking out the Hong Nang Sida temple, which is part of the Wat Pho temple. It's a few K away, but you know, it was all built by the Khmer in between the 11th and 12th century. And this actually was the starting point of a road that used to connect the Wat Pho complex with the Angkor Wat complex. This is just like an offshoot from the main temple complex. There's no fee to come into this part. So this is Hong Nang Sida, over 1,000 years old. Pretty cool. Now that really is a wrap for today. So yeah, hopefully see you tomorrow. Bright and early, sunrise, Wat Pho Temple, somehow.
Stained with a loop. Stained with a loop. Stained with a loop.
G'day guys, it's about 7 o'clock here. I'm at the top of Wat Pho. This is Wat Pho itself, just behind me. I went to the actual car park. The boom gate was up on the exit side and I just rode in. This was all at about 5 a.m. I parked the scooter and I started walking. It was pitch black. It is an uneven walk. It is about 1 kilometre and you've got to allow 20-25 minutes to get up here as well because you have 150-200 steps to get up here. This is Wat Pho. We're on the elevated part at the moment. There's this nice staircase going down. So I'm just going to go for a walk around now, try and enjoy this top section before anyone else gets here. Very picturesque. So the first little site, I don't know what you call them, little landmark, is a natural spring from the rock above us. So I think this is another one of those landmarks, the Tramurti relief. I forget the name of the gods now, but the Shiva, Vishnu and another one. One of them's a destroyer, well, creator, preserver, destroyer. Yeah, you know, circle of life sort of stuff. So although the temple would have originally been Hindu, it was at some point transformed into a Buddhist place of worship. So it's like this mixture of Buddhist religious symbols as well as the old school sort of Hindu stuff. Buddha's footprint, obviously. Just because it's massive and in the side of a wall doesn't mean it's not a footprint. I am sceptical, to say the least. Just on the path now that goes towards the Crocodile Rock and the Elephant Sculpture Rock. The Elephant Rock. It's pretty sad to see that people are riding on it. It looks nice, but if it was 1,000 years old, awesome. People probably shouldn't be riding on it. So I think the last little thing to find up here is the Crocodile Rock. So here we are, Crocodile Rock. This is the last of the little things that you're supposed to sort of have a walk around and find up here. Yeah, it looks like they just pressed a crocodile into the rock. Bit of an odd-shaped crocodile, but it looks like a crocodile. I've pretty much walked this whole area. Yeah, Wat Pho is the highlight, obviously.
If you are looking for any of the sites that we visited today, it is not a secret. There is a little mud map at the front of the complex at the top of Wat Pho. The complex of Wat Pho is a combination of Khmer architecture and Hindu religion. It is believed that this sanctuary existed in another form from as early as 500 or 600 AD.
Almost downstairs. I kept stopping for photos. I like it. The trees might be my favourite bit.
Wat Pho began as a Hindu site, dedicated mainly to Shiva, long before this area became strongly Buddhist. Later, like many ancient temples in this region, it became an active Buddhist place of worship as well. The main ruins we see today are mostly from the Khmer period. From the top, you also get one of the best views back across the plains towards the Mekong.
Very nice. I can see the first bunch of people just walking up now through the main sort of procession walk, and I've been up top for 2.5, 3 hours all to myself. I should be able to quickly check out these two temples without anybody else. So there's two temples, a north and a south one, and you are allowed inside, so I'm just going to go for a quick look through. Alright guys, I am spent. It's 8:48, so I've been here over 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Definitely worth it. Even if you come here at 8, you'd probably get most of the place to yourself. There are some people rocking up now, but not a lot. It's not busy at all. Now I just got about a 900 metre, 1k walk back to the ticket office, onto the scooter, and then that's it. Alright guys, that's the mighty Mekong River behind me. This is Phi Katai Viewpoint, just on the other side of the Mekong, south of Pakse. I've come here for sunrise. It's my last day. This marks the end of the 2-week itinerary. We've done the Thakhek Loop, we've done 4,000 Islands, and we've done the Pakse Loop. I added an extra day to both the Thakhek and the Pakse Loop just to try and get some extra activities done, such as Dam Phuep Cave, abseiling in the rock viewpoint, and heading down to Wat Pho Temple. Hopefully I've been able to show you a little bit more of what you can expect. I've almost shown you more than you need to do, so you can pick out the best bits and get rid of all the worst bits. I think the length of itinerary is good in each location for people that want to do everything without all the filming and the photography. You will enjoy it more because you'll have more time at each location, especially once you weed out a couple of the weaker locations. It is a good length of trip for people that want to get really stuck in and see more. You can always go back to the classic 3 nights and 3 nights. You can extend time at 4,000 Islands to relax. There's plenty of flexibility in the 2 weeks, 15 days, whatever it's been so far. And this guide hopefully has at least shown you what each place has to offer, as well as a few extra things you might have been unaware of. Now, down in 4,000 Islands, Don Khon, Don Det, I only spent 3 nights there. It's enough to see everything because the islands are quite small, but a lot of people will spend a week there, 2 weeks there, with the intent being just to relax a little bit more, enjoy the island lifestyle. So although I was only going through to break up the motorbike trips and to try and document some of the things that you can do there, there's another place you could easily spend a bit more time. However, if you are on a strict itinerary, a strict schedule, and you have to get back to work, for example, you're not just backpacking around Southeast Asia with an open-ended ticket, then you can fiddle this stuff into a 2-week itinerary. So what was my favourite thing? To be honest, I preferred the Thakhek Loop than the Pakse Loop. I feel like the caves are more involved with the waterfalls. A lot of it is just looking at the falls. You're not, realistically, you don't swim at every single waterfall you go to. It gets a bit boring. There are a couple highlight falls where you would definitely go for a swim, just because the water is deep, the scenery is good, and the infrastructure is there, like they might have a raft or a jumping platform or something like that. But with the caves, I found it more unique. The scenery was better on the riding for the Thakhek Loop, although the road conditions are better on the Pakse Loop. All in all, I still recommend doing both. This is just me trying to split the two, but I still recommend doing both. I recommend the big loop personally. So 2 weeks in Southern Laos is enough. You can do more, obviously. If you are backpacking and you are not having to get home by a certain date, you can spend as long as you want just exploring, going deeper into the caves, spending more time at your favourite guest houses or homestays, and enjoying the islands a lot more relaxing down south. Anyway, that's it for my 2 weeks. I thoroughly enjoyed my time, although there were some challenges with crashing the drone on the Thakhek Loop, food poisoning down in Don Khon, and then crashing the drone again on the Pakse Loop. Things happen, that's all good. I've still enjoyed my time, and I think this is a great way to cap it off because this is the best sunrise I've had. This is the best viewpoint possibly that I've had. It's hard to remember them all. Feel free to like it if it's been helpful or you've enjoyed the photography, videography. Probably not me, but if you enjoyed me, then you can like it as well. I do try to make each place look as nice as it can without having to overdo it because some places really don't deserve it. Now that is it, I have to go. I am tired. I'm ready to go. It's been good. Thanks for watching.
Waking in silence, it's weighing me down. And all of the sirens are waiting forever, they drive me insane. No way, I don't care, I'm diving into the waves. Waking in silence, the light in my eyes, barely surviving. It's making me feel I'm alone on this island, lost in the labyrinth. It's weighing me down. And all of the sirens are waiting forever, they drive me insane. No way, I don't care, I'm diving into the waves.